Hey craft buddy, I just parked in front of my absolute favorite Dollar Tree and we're headed inside today on a mission. We are looking for the best blanks that you can customize with your vinyl cutting machine to make decor and so much more. So let's go in, let's get shopping. I'm bringing you a ton of inspiration and as always, free cut files, so let's go. And before we get into it, a huge thank you to Good Chop for sponsoring today's video. We'll talk more about them in a little bit, but first we are heading to the stationery aisle. I've been doing these types of videos for quite some time, so to get me excited in the aisles of Dollar Tree takes a lot. These notebooks definitely did that. I looked at them and realized that the covers were blank, perfect for vinyl, so I decided to make them over with my new favorite monogram style, which is called a block shadow. Here's some of the inspiration shots up above. So the first thing I had to do was get that sticker sheet off the front, and that was hooked to the sticker, of course, Dollar Tree, but I was able to get it off, get everything separated, and you can save those plastic pieces to protect the notebooks in case you want to gift them later. First things first, let's measure and let's cut.
So to create this look, it's as easy as selecting some text. So for here, I'm going to do a quick monogram. So say I do WC. Then I'm going to go up here and pick the font that I like. I've been really liking these BFC ones in Design Space, but you can get a lot of these in Canva as well. So then what I'm going to do is duplicate that. And then I'm going to kind of do like a faux offset to help me size it. So I needed these to be 3 inches across. So I'm just going to select both, go up to the top here and do 3 inches in width. It's going to size for me, and then I know with the drop shadow as well as the actual monogram, it's going to be 3 inches wide when I go to apply it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can add like boxes to this, but I just go ahead and apply the 2 letters on my own. Then the last thing you're going to want to do is you can switch them to the exact color that you're going to cut out, or you can just leave them as 2 separate colors, but then that way your machine knows to cut the 2 different colors. And then you can just go up to make it, and then we're going to cut them out and weed them.
So you can do a variety of different colors with this monogram. I did some with a white backing. I also did some with a variety of different colors. So this is where you can really customize. You could also do this with school colors for kids or favorite sports teams. So many different options. When everything was cut, I weeded the additional vinyl from the outside of each decal. And then whichever color you want to be on top, you're going to put your transfer tape on that. And then I like to use parchment paper to help me line it up. Then that way I can get it set before it actually sticks to the vinyl underneath, because nothing is worse than trying to layer and having it stick before you're ready. So parchment paper all day. And then I'm using my paper transfer tape to apply it to the front of the little notebook, and that is it. Super quick and easy, great gifts, and just really fun overall. Now, I wanted to make a set of some Taylor Swift themed ones because the Eras Tour is creating Swiftie fever right now. So I got this file from Etsy, and it was really intricate. I think it was meant for a t-shirt, but I decided to cut it to the 3 inches wide and then reverse weed. You do that by putting transfer tape right over the top of your vinyl and then weeding it back just like you would heat transfer vinyl. Then all of your little bits are going to stay on the transfer tape, and then you just apply as usual. That is one of my favorite tricks to get some of these intricate designs, and I did a bunch of different ones because I had so much fun with these. I've got a Taylor Swift Swiftie one, You Will Never Regret Being Kind here, and this file came from Etsy, and then the other ones are ones that I created. Other than the Swiftie with the Taylor Swift outline and the Cruel Summer lyrics, the rest of them are going to be free over on my blog. Head down to the description and you can grab all my free cut files from today. Now, also in that section, I thought these Jop brand little sticky notes were so cute. I got a leopard one as well as a kind of pink marbleized one. I did the exact same thing. I just cut them to 6 inches wide. And this font is one of my absolute favorites in Design Space. If you don't have Cricut access, you can download it for like $5, $10. So I will link it down below for you as well. These are so nice for an office or craft room, and they just add a little extra pizzazz. I try my absolute best to work in requests from you guys into videos, and this is one of my top requested ones for summer. I love grabbing these wood door hangers because they're so affordable, but if you can't find them at Dollar Tree, you can get them at a variety of other craft stores and do the exact same thing. I start by staining it and then painting it because we're going to make a summer leopard sign similar to the fall, Christmas, Easter, all of the different ones that I've made, St. Patrick's Day, all the different things. So I decided to do kind of a sunset thing here. So I mixed pink, orange, yellow, all the way down kind of the rainbow. When it's done, it gives kind of a Lisa Frank vibe as well. If you were a child of the 80s and 90s like me, it will make you think of Lisa Frank. But I really like that this could be a fun backdrop against the leopard print that we're going to cut out. I'm just mixing everything as it's all wet so it can blend into each other, and if it's not blending as well, you can add a little bit of water to your paintbrush to help buff it out. Then I am cutting out a decal that I will have over on my blog for you. It's already sized to this half circle, so you're just going to want to cut it to about 11.75 inches wide to cover your wood round. Now, if you're not using a Dollar Tree wood round, be sure to measure yourself so you know how big to cut it. We're going to weed it out, and this is on black matte vinyl, and we're applying it with paper transfer tape. I cannot say enough good things about paper transfer tape. It definitely saves so many projects, especially when you're putting vinyl and sticky stuff right on the top of things you just painted like I did. And then once you peel it back, it's time to add some words. So I decided to do Welcome Summer, but you could literally put whatever you want on there. You could put your last name because it already says basically summer with the little Where's Waldo pieces within the leopard. But again, same paper transfer tape. You can reuse it, which is nice. You can get probably up to 3 uses from the paper transfer tape if you're doing things in succession like I did here. And once everything's applied, you got a super cute door hanger. And yes, I smeared a little bit of the yellow paint. I think it adds a little bit of character, and I'll worry about that later fixing it. If I had $1 for every time somebody told me they couldn't find items because their Dollar Tree is a mess, well, look, this is my Dollar Tree. Don't be afraid to look behind things over here on these cute little bags that we're going to make over. I thought these bags would be awesome if I could remove the wording because they just have such random sayings on them. So I just used some acetone as well as some gloves and a little paper towel, and it rubbed right off, making these great blanks. Now I'm going to do something similar to what I did for those notebooks. I'm going to do SPF, snacks, and one for Finn. So I am just using a font that I like, doing 2 at the same size, but then also making sure that it's sized the right way. And then we're going to cut them all out again, pick the colors that you would like. And then once everything's weeded, we're grabbing that trusty parchment paper again to help layer these things one on top of the other. And then you can seriously just stick it on the front of the bag. I like to let them sit after they have been applied to the front of the bag for a couple days just to make sure it fully adheres. And then with these, you can wipe off with a rag, like spot clean, and it works great. And for that blue one, because we've got a road trip coming up with Mr. Finn, I added a fun little train as well as his name. He is obsessed with trains right now. And so I've got something for our sunscreen, snacks, and also Finn specific toys. When it's in the car, I can find things. It's going to make my life so much easier. I was about to check out in Dollar Tree and I saw these super cute cup holders on an end cap. They also have a wide variety of tubes, so you can do the same thing on a full tube as well. We're going to customize these fun flamingos with some vinyl. These would be great for a bachelorette party or just a fun girls pool party. Whatever you want to do with these, they would be so fun. So I just measured them and realized I need a decal about 3 inches wide. So I did the exact same thing with that monogram. And you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do this monogram 50 million times. I just find that when I like something, I latch onto it, a certain style, and I do it for a while. Let me know down in the comments, is that you too? I'm just going to layer and apply, and you quickly and easily have super fun little cup holders. You can have a fun little girls' day, float in the pool, and you don't have to hold your drink the whole time. So fun. How much fun are those going to be to use at the pool this summer? And they were so quick and easy to customize. Now, something else I want to keep quick and easy this summer are our meals. I obviously want to eat well, but I don't want to spend a ton of time away from Alex and Finn having to meal prep and grocery shop. And so that is where Good Chop comes in. This box is full of high quality meat and seafood options for me to stock our fridge and freezer, and it was shipped right to my door. When you order from Good Chop, you can select from more than 60 different high-quality meats, chicken, pork, and seafood. Lately, the quality of meat at our local grocery store has been kind of lacking, so I had high hopes for Good Chop, and they delivered. Everything in our custom box was super good, from the 100% grass-fed ribeyes and thick-cut bacon that I added to my go-to lunch, a chef salad, to the free-range organic chicken breasts that we really liked because they were large enough to be filling, but not too thick, so they took forever to cook. Good Chop not only saved us a trip to the grocery store, but they also delivered meat with no antibiotics or added hormones ever. Plus, all their products are sourced exclusively from American farms and fisheries. And if you're the type of person that's picky with your meat, no worries, Good Chop has a 100% money-back guarantee. So they stand behind the cuts they send you, and if you don't love it, you'll get your money back. Good Chop is giving my craft buddies a discount. So to claim that, go to goodchop.com. www.cricut.com/YouTube and use the code WHIT120 or click the link down in the description box to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes. Now let's get back into the DIYs. Summer is a super busy party time, showers, all the things. So did you know that you can address card envelopes with your Cricut? Well, if you didn't, I'm going to show you how to do it super quick and easy. I like to grab cards from the Dollar Tree blanks section because I write novels inside of cards, so it's nice to have them be for whatever occasion I want. And then we're going to take the envelope, stick it onto our mat, and we're going to keep in mind how big that envelope is because that's going to help us here. We're going to add a square and make it the size of our envelope. In my case, it's a 5x7. And then I'm going to make that shape just white so then that way I don't have to mess with anything. I'm going to type out my return address first, and I'm going to go up to this filter and select a writing font. Now they do have free writing fonts. You can also get writing fonts with the Access subscriptions. So for this example, I'm going to send a card to Courtney. So I'm going to type out her address, put it where I want it, select both of my text things and hit attach. You want to make sure at the top it says pen. You can get rid of that square because that was just for a guide. And then you can put it right onto that envelope. I go ahead and select light cardstock. It doesn't really matter because you're not actually cutting, but you have to pick something. You're going to pop your pen in whatever slot for your particular Cricut machine. Sometimes there's one slot, sometimes there's multiple, and then let it go to work. It's going to write everything on there for you, and this is also great for invitations to parties. If you want it to look more personalized than a sticker or wedding invitations, you can go ahead, pop it right out, and this thing is good to go, and it's great for me because my handwriting is not the best. You guys are always asking about my favorite fonts, and I wanted to share with you a fun way that I can select fonts that are already on my machine. I learned this from May over at Home Sweet Pink on TikTok. She has a lot of great Cricut content, and all you do is type in whatever word you're trying to do. I just did my name. It will populate that word in every font you have on your computer so you can compare them. You can also click them and compare them side by side like I'm doing here. So wordmark.com, I will link it in the description. It is just nice to have tools like that. So the next time I'm hosting a girls trip, girls party, or even a bachelorette party, these are definitely going to be on the DIY list. Grab yourself a brush with a flat back at Dollar Tree. I grabbed 2 different kinds. And for the first one, I am monogramming it for myself with dark pink and light pink in just a W. It pops so nicely off the white, and for real, you would pay buku bucks for something like this at a boutique, but I made it for $1.25 and some scrap vinyl. So quick and easy and so cute. I made this for myself for when we go to the lake this summer because my hair is always blown around on the boat and I want to have something in our boat container that I can use for my hair. So this is another Whiskey and Whit free cut file. Lake hair don't care. I also have pool hair don't care, beach hair don't care over in the folder on my blog. So you can download that, but pop it right on the back. And how fun, quick, and easy are these for summer and beyond? You could also add school mascots, team logos. This would also be fun for a cheer team for their bags. Sky's the limit. Another item that literally the sky's the limit are these stadium cups. I found mine in the drinkware aisle, but sometimes they're also with the summer stuff, and you can put whatever you want on here. I'm customizing some of these for a 4th of July barbecue, and I decided to use, you guessed it, that offset kind of block shadow monogram style. But instead of doing a monogram, I cut out Happy 4th of July. I did 2 whites, 1 red, 1 blue, used my parchment paper to line them up. I ended up doing about 3 inches tall for the lettering, and then you can go ahead and apply it to your cup. These are a rockstar blank from Dollar Tree because you could make these for specific parties, retirements. You could put characters on them for your kids to use for their fun summer drinks. You could customize these for a bachelorette party, a wedding. So many different options, and you get 3 in a pack for $1.25, and they're all BPA free, which is huge. Not everything at Dollar Tree is BPA free, so keep an eye on those stickers. I also did a USA, USA, USA one, and I did the white in kind of a gray, so it would actually be seen on the white cup. These are so fun. Of course, I had a monogram one for myself. I think this is going to be my Cubs baseball watching cup, but it can also be patriotic. The past 2 years in the nautical section at Dollar Tree, they've had these really fun tag signs, so I have stocked up on them, and today I've got 2 different variations for you. For the first one, we're going to remove the hanger, and we're going to paint this entire thing in the color sandstone. You really don't have to have this exact color. I just wanted a neutral base. You could also do this on stained wood. I was inspired by this sign I saw on Pinterest, so I was going to try to make a sign for our back door headed out to our pool. I needed something round for the beach ball shape, so I just grabbed a Dollar Tree bucket that I use in my craft room as a trash can. And then I originally did a larger circle in the center for the center of the beach ball, and I didn't like it, so I erased it and ended up going back through with a just little sized paint bottle container. My last step before painting was to take my pencil and rough out where the different color swatches were going to go on the beach ball. Then I got to work painting. I just grabbed some different paint colors from my stash, and I tried to do colors that complemented each other across from each other, kind of like the color wheel. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I laid out my colors before I started painting, just so then that way I didn't get halfway through and realize I didn't like where the colors were. After the colors came the center of the beach ball with just a little bit of white paint, and then I went through with some whimsy fun accents with my favorite paint markers from Amazon. I did a thick outline around the whole thing in white. I also did that to the line in between each color. That also helped clean up if I didn't get a perfect paint line. And then I did a fun little dot dot dash motif around the outside just to give it a border and to dress it up a little bit. I added a little bit more black as well as a few little white wispies throughout the beach ball to give it some dimension. And then it was time to add my wording, which is Life is Better by the Pool. This is another free cut file over on my blog, and I also have Life is Better by the Lake if you want to do that option as well. I weeded it out, applied it with my paper transfer tape, and had a little rogue Y, so I just put it to the side and added it after I applied it. I feel like when I first started, that would have made me recut the whole thing, but honestly, like, you can hand place stuff and it won't be the end of the world. So if you're just starting out with Cricut and you have like a rogue letter, you can place that by hand, save the entire thing, save some vinyl, and it still happens sometimes, you know, it is what it is, but if you can come back from it, you're good to go. And for some reason, I felt like the second one needed to be a watermelon painted technique. So I started with some dark green at the bottom. I buffed in a lighter green and then a little bit of white. I did the whole like top 2/3 red, and then I used some white to kind of soften between the bright red as well as the green. Once it was all dry, I did the dot dot dash technique all the way around the outside that I did with my last sign, and then I grabbed some white vinyl to cut out a summertime decal I also designed. Once that was weeded, I applied it with some paper transfer tape, just like I did the other sign. And the other great thing is you could put welcome summer. You could use any of the other text that I've shared with you as far as cut files onto this sign. You can really make it your own once you know how to do a fun paint technique. Then I wanted to add a little pizzazz to the top, so I used this red and white striped ribbon that I typically use for patriotic decor, but I decided it would go really well with this because I had a red background with white vinyl. I ended up tying a bow and fluffed it out using the wire inside of the ribbon to get it to sit where I wanted, and then I folded the ends and dovetailed them so that they had a nice finished look. I love signs like this because I can put them over a plain green wreath on my front door and I don't have to store seasonal wreaths. I just have to store the sign. It makes life so much easier. So just keep that in mind in the future. If you've got a lot of decor to store, think about switching out signs versus an entire wreath. I feel like Dollar Tree watches our videos and listens to us because when they come out with blanks, we get very excited. Things that are actually blanks and I don't have to like paint it or recreate it. And these signs are awesome. Now, what happens if you find an SVG file that's not exactly the same dimensions as a sign, but you still want to use it? Let me show you. So you're going to start by measuring your open space. For me, that's 14 inches wide by 4 inches tall, and I'm going to import my SVG. Now, it's key that you have an SVG file versus a PNG file for this one because you want each individual piece to be its own piece, essentially. So we're going to start by creating a shape in the dimensions that I just told you, so 14 by 4, and I'm just going to go ahead and change it to white. That's personal preference. I just work better when my guide is white and not the gray because then I can see what shows up. Then we're going to select the entire SVG and click Ungroup, and then at that point, you can go through and move pieces bit by bit. If you are finding that your item is behind the rectangle, you can go ahead and hit Arrange and it will bring it to the front, and you can change sizes, you can change the layout, and so the elements are a great way to get you started in the SVG, but then you can really make it your own. You can also add your own text if you want to customize it, or add some of the Cricut images or your own images to really round out that file. And then when you get where you need to go, this is how you're going to remake it into essentially an SVG so it will cut together. You want to make sure that everything on your sign is ungrouped, and you can do that by selecting it and ungroup at the top. Then you can go to color sync up here and you can drag all of your different pieces so that they're on the same mat and the same color. Once all of your colors are matched up, then you're going to select all of the pieces that are the same color. So for this one, I am doing my little ice cream cone and the sticks on the different popsicles. Then you're going to hit attach and go ahead and do that for all of your different colors. Then you're going to have an SVG with all of the pieces aligned so you can easily layer it. Now, as I'm weeding, I want to mention to you, if you go to attach and for some reason it changes your whole file to red, let's say, it's because you have things grouped. So you want to make sure that everything is ungrouped, so everything is its own piece, and then it will make it so you can cut it out in different colors here. Now there is a white element to this file, but I figured the back of my sign is white already, so that's one less layer I have to worry about. And the little stars were very, very small, so I decided to forego that piece. And that's another thing, you don't have to use all the pieces that come with the file. Nobody gives you a rule that you have to do that. So you can definitely change things up and do what works for you. Then we're going to layer piece by piece with that parchment paper so that we get all of our really pretty red, white, and blue ice cream and popsicles and all of the things together. And then you can go ahead and peel back your last sheet and apply it onto your sign. So I hope that gave you some guidance on how to take an SVG and make it be the size of the sign that you want. It helps because then you're not landlocked into how the SVG was originally created, and it unlocks so many more possibilities. Another sign that gets an honorable mention are the square versions of that. I recently made this using the cut file that I used on the notebooks previously, just different colors. I will have this over on my blog for you. It's just a fun little sign and $1.25. You can't beat it. So for all my patriotic decor fans, I've got a wood round door hanger for that too. We're going to do the same thing we did before, remove those hangers and stain both sides, and then we're going to let that dry. Once it's dry, we are going to do a tape of about a 4-inch strip in the center, and above that tape, we're going to make it white, and below that tape, we're going to paint it blue. Then once your white section has dried, we're going to take some more painter's tape. I'm using the 1-inch variety, and I also have a little piece that I'm using as a spacer. I'm going to go across and evenly space out vertical lines, so then that way I can go back through and paint those red. So I've got the stripes at the top, and then we'll have stars at the bottom. When it's about 50% dry, I peel off my painter's tape just so the paint doesn't completely dry and then seal it down, causing more ripping. And then I had to do a couple little quick touch-ups. Once that was done, I popped my hangers back on to the sign. It just goes right through the holes. I really like how Dollar Tree designed these where they're easy to come off and put back on. And then I created this sweet land of Liberty wording that I cut out again on my Cricut white vinyl, apply it right in the center. And then I also cut out 10 little stars that were 3/4 of an inch wide, and I just manually placed them on the bottom where I wanted them, and voila. This is another one. You put it right over that wreath, super quick and easy to switch out, and it makes your front door look fun and festive without all the storage space. That's going to do it for this installment of my Dollar Tree Cricut blanks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite. Also, while you're down there, be sure to check out Good Chop and more information on them. You can head to goodchop.com/YouTube and use the code WHIT120 for $120 off across your first 4 boxes of Good Chop. Thanks so much for watching. Hit subscribe if you're new so you don't miss a future video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!